Hey guys, it's Jeremy here down in Central Florida, Zone 9A. Today I want to talk about pruning these peach trees right here. So what I'm going to do, basically just come in and try to prune back some of this top growth here that looks a little weak to hold fruit, and just to bring the height down a little bit. So basically let's get busy here. So what I'm going to do is just come in. We got a lot of growth up here that we don't really need. We got all this fruiting wood down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in, chop that right out there at that outward node. Chop that. Come right on here. Chop that. We don't need all this fruiting wood. We've got plenty right here, and we're already going to be thinning the fruit when it comes on here anyway, so our best bet is to go ahead and get rid of a lot of this right off the rip here. We don't need that going back into the center. We'll go ahead and get that out. I will leave that one on there. Go ahead and chop this one off. Come right up here, we got the node going out there. Go ahead and chop that off. You know what, let's go ahead and chop this off right there. Come in right here. Take that off. We're just basically bringing down for some height control. Getting rid of a lot of stuff that we don't need. Outward node. We cut it about a 30-45 degree angle just to let the water run off. Stuff ain't gonna hurt nothing there, it's doing all right. Chop that off there. This one right here going up in there. We got a lot of stuff here we could chop off, but we'll leave it for now. After the fruit set, we'll maybe come back in and do some more aggressive. We can take this right off right there, we don't need that. That going back up in there, we'll take that off. Come around here, chop that off right there above that outward going limb. This one right here going back in, we'll remove that whole limb. And we got all kinds of fruiting wood on here. We'll chop that off, we don't need that. Same thing with that. Come on over here back to this. Let's go ahead and chop this off down here at this outward node. Another outward node there. We could prune a lot more off of here, but it's all good fruiting wood and it doesn't seem to be in the way of anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that go ahead and flower out and produce fruit, and then after the fruit set we'll come back after we harvest the fruit and we'll go ahead and chop them way back down and bring it way back down. Let's see what we got over here. Come on over here. Now there's not any deadwood on these trees. This is all new tree. This is all last year's growth. So we're not looking for any deadwood because there isn't any. We're just looking at outward nodes, outward nodes, outward nodes, getting rid of some of the top growth that we don't need, get rid of some of the inward growth, outward node, outward node. Basically, limbs up here are kind of weak, they're not going to be able to support much fruit anyway. So our best bet is to go ahead and just get rid of that right now. Outward nodes. Outward node. Same thing there. Go ahead and chop that piece out there. Some more dead junk up here. Outward node there. Outward nodes. We look for the node coming out. You can see right there. Basically, we want the growth to come outward, not inward. This here, we're going to remove this whole thing right here. We don't need that. We don't need that going back in. We don't need this going back in. We don't need this going back in. Reality, we're going to come back later on and probably remove this whole limb. But for right now, there's nothing in the way. So we'll go ahead and leave that. We'll chop that off. Let's go ahead and just chop it up here to get rid of some of this. Right there. I said we go ahead and chop that right out of there. Come up here, outward node. And we got all kinds of fruiting wood here. We just ain't gonna need it. Just ain't gonna need it all. Now remember, these are only 1-year-old trees here. This is all this year's growth, so this is all potential fruiting wood. We don't need that. Keep a little separation in there. We'll chop out that one going back in, get rid of that. Just by getting rid of stuff going in, we've eliminated a lot of stuff in the way. Chop that out. Chop that out. Anything going back in towards the center. Outward nodes. Looking for the node going outward. Chop it there. And we ain't really worried anyway, because we're actually going to come back in and re-prune this again after we do the harvest of the fruit. We're going to cut all that wood off back down, probably back down to here, and let new growth come out of here, because we don't want big trees. We're going to keep them down small. Chop that out there. There it is. We got about a minute or two on that tree, and that's good enough. We've eliminated a lot of the weaker stuff on top, leaving the stronger wood down below. And this is all fruiting wood, so we got plenty of potential fruit coming on there. Come on over to this one. This is a nectarine right here, sunraycer. The last one we just left over there, that was a Florida, that's a Tropic Beauty, and the other one we did first was a Florida Best. And this is a sunraycer nectarine. We'll come in, we'll chop that right out of the way, get that out of the way there. Come right on in here. Chop it right on back. Come on in here, chop that right on back. Right on back. Right on back. On back. We're basically just chopping to get rid of the weaker stuff up higher and just for size management. There's really nothing dead here to cut out. Come right across, bam. Bam. Chop this one out going back into the center. We'll probably remove this whole limb here later on, but for right now, it's like good fruiting wood. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Anything going in towards the center, might as well chop that out. A little scraggly stuff. Any of the little scraggly little branches that ain't gonna hold any fruit anyway. This ain't gonna hold no fruit. Might as well chop that off before we even give it a chance to waste energy. Chop that off. Again, we're just basically looking for about 5 feet high, which is about here. Chop that off. Come on out here. Chop that off. And we're chopping away a lot of potential fruiting wood, but we don't need it. We got plenty here. Plenty of good fruiting wood in here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So we're going to have to come back in here and thin half the fruit off later on anyway, probably. So we can eliminate some of the load right now by getting rid of some of the higher branches and some of the weaker ones in between down lower here that just ain't going to hold any fruit anyway. I mean, even that. Ding, ding, ding. This here, we'll probably take that whole limb out right there. Come on in, got this one going back in. We could probably leave that this time. Right there going up in there, kind of scraggly. Get rid of that. Come back in here, chop that down. Chop that down. I'm gonna go ahead and just chop that off right there at that nose. And come right on around, chop that down, chop that down. Right there at the nose, bing, bing, bing. Going back into the center, get rid of that. Now we're just chopping and throwing on the ground now, but I will come in and clean this up just because I don't like the way it looks. I'll probably just break the leaves off, leave them here, and clean it up somewhat. So we got this right here. We don't need that. This one right here going back over that way. We might as well chop that cross branch off. Again, let's take this down for some size management. Bam, we don't need all that. We don't need that. Chop that right there. Same thing with this. Chop that off. Chop that out. Chop some of that junk out there. I mean, some of the stuff. I mean, that's probably good enough. Like I say, we've done some size management right here. We got right there, so we're going to have fruit from right here on down. This is all potential fruiting wood. After the fruit sets and we harvest that, we're going to end up chopping all that fruiting wood off and start back down low again. Like I say, this is my first time, so we're just experienced and follow along and we'll see how this goes. Now we come over here to the last peach tree. This is the Florida Prince. Look at it, it's already starting to bud out. You gotta excuse my hands, I got glue. I'm a pump and irrigation contractor and I was in a mess earlier, so I've got glue all over my hands. Alright, so this tree here doesn't really need a whole lot of height adjustment because I've already been heavily pruning these trees all through the summer. So basically I'm just gonna come in and kind of get rid of some of this stuff inside here. Go ahead and chop this one right here out. We don't need that in there. We don't need that going back in there. We don't need that going back. We don't need that. Get rid of that. The rest of this stuff looks like it should be okay for the most part. Let's see. And again, after the fruit sets, we'll probably come remove this whole limb right here. But right now, I don't think we have to. Just get rid of some of that stuff there. Chop off some of these small things that ain't gonna hold no fruit, especially the ones that are going back in. We don't need anything going back in. And there's no shortage of fruiting wood here, so we're not afraid to cut too much. Cut half this tree off and still chop that right out of there. Bing, bing, bing. Come on around. Take that out there. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I will leave that for now. Come on around, chop off that scraggly. Like I say, all this scraggly stuff ain't gonna really hold any fruit anyway. Especially the stuff going back in, so we'll just get rid of all that. Bam, bam. You know, part of me wants to take that off. I don't think we need to right now. We're gonna come back in and do another thinning here after the fruit. We're gonna do a thinning after the fruit set, and then we're gonna do another pruning video after the fruit harvest, when we remove the fruit and cut most of the fruiting wood back down to grow new fruiting wood for the coming year. I'll probably leave that alone. I think that's gonna be okay. We've got it down. So there it is. There's the peach trees. Let's come on over here and check out these plum trees. Look at this thing, it's already in bloom here. Already blooming. What's today, January 22nd, 2020? So again, we're just gonna kind of clean it up a little bit. Now I've been heavily pruning these trees all through the growing season anyway, getting rid of anything going inside, getting rid of anything going anywhere, so they kind of don't look too bad right now. But we're just gonna come in and kind of do some thinning here just to kind of get rid of some of this top growth that we don't really need. Looks too weak to hold fruit anyway. Outward shooting node. Bam. Same thing here. Node shooting outward. We want that. We get the nose going out the way we want. We want everything to grow back out. We don't want anything going back into the center. So we always want to chop right at the node going out. See the node going out? So we would chop right there. It's going to shoot out of that. Outward node, chop. Get rid of some of these cross branches here. Get rid of that. Just get rid of some of the stuff that looks too reckless. This little thing down here. Thing right there. I don't think I really need to do much more of this tree right now. I think that's going to be good until after the fruit. Come on over to this one. This is another Scarlet Beauty. Do the same thing here. Just chop it down, look for the node going out, chop it there. I think these look okay. Looks okay. Doing all right there. Come on around. Not a whole lot going on. Like I said, these are only 1-year-old trees, and I've been pruning them all through the growing season anyway. We'll remove a little bit of that. We'll chop this one out going back into the center. I think that's about it. We've got one more plum tree over here. This is a Golf Beauty here. Ain't much pruning necessary for this. We'll chop that one right there. Like again, ain't much pruning necessary on this one. Been pretty heavily pruned throughout the growing season. I pretty much leave that alone. Alright, well there it is. That's what we've done here. You can see we look back over here at the peach trees. We basically chop tops of them down, bring them down to about 5 feet. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.